What is going on, guys? JC Nita, and today we're talking about how returning to the office can be a bit, well, awkward.
An office is really, really cringe, just so you understand that. Everything about it is super embarrassing, and you spend the majority of your waking time in the office. If you're especially awkward and introverted like me, the office itself is just not a great environment for you. So over time, you look at all of your waking hours and you go, oh, I'm really awkward, so I must be awkward. It's the office, I promise you. Because here's why. Especially open concept offices are embarrassing to have a one-on-one conversation, because if you're in like a 30 to 40 person office and it's just open concept and you try to have a conversation next to someone else, you're also being perceived by 39 other people. So it's like weird to start this like one-on-one conversation and then like someone across from you is also listening to it. It's just not natural. Every time you like stand up, everyone can see you standing up. You feel like you're in school again and everyone's like judging your outfit and looking at you. Then if you like go take your lunch, you're thinking in your head like, oh, is my lunch gonna smell bad? Is it weird that I'm taking lunch right now? Where should I sit? Like, it's just a weird, unnatural environment. I was ultra mega weird in an office. I hated it to the point where I think in my first 4 months, my first boss keeps me and asked, like, hey, do you like us? Do you like working here? And in my mind, I was like, I just don't want to get fired and like say the wrong thing. That's why I'm just like trying to be quiet to be nice. I don't know. Here's a success story in that I now talk for a living and make content. It's an extremely extroverted thing. There's a lot of charisma that's involved in that. I would probably say any coworker that I had prior to doing what I do now would probably say like, oh, I would have never imagined that she was going to do something like that. I was just kind of weird in the office. What I'm trying to get at is don't beat yourself up too much. You're just in a weird environment for most of your waking hours of the day, and how you're showing up in the office is not how you would show up in the rest of the day and the rest of the world. It's just you don't have a lot of data on that because you're spending so much time in the office. One tip that I do have for you, if you do consider yourself more introverted or awkward or whatever the word is at your workplace, is finding other things that are not attached to work and not attached to your performance to socialize in, where there's not a lot of pressure, but you can still practice talking. I know that this is ridiculous, especially to people that are like, is she really talking about how to talk more? Yeah, like if you spend a lot of time.
Okay, so for those of you who are not introverts, you may not get this necessarily. You might be thinking, what is she talking about? But as a fellow introvert, I can attest to the fact that when I did work in an open concept office, I did not enjoy it at all. I did enjoy the people that I worked with at all the jobs I worked at. So it's not the people that I didn't enjoy, it's the layout of the office. It seems somewhat unnatural. And also, I worked in a field that was dominated by mostly introverted people, so we're all kind of similar in the sense that, yeah, it just feels awkward to be forced to have a conversation. Like she hit the nail on the head perfectly. I'm having a conversation with Sally, but now Jim, Bob, Rachel, involved in our conversation. And it's like you have to whisper, you feel weird. It's just odd. And I felt that way sometimes in school too, with the open concept of the classroom. It is true, I think, that a lot of our public spaces in companies and classrooms, they're designed for more extroverted people, more extroverted activities where people get together, they think out loud, and they bounce ideas off each other. You know, one of the words I really don't like is brainstorm. I really understand its effectiveness, but me personally, I have to be on my own to contemplate things and to think things over before I can really effectively create new ideas. I don't create new ideas while talking to other people. I create ideas and then bring them to people after I thought about them, and we can go from there. So what you're saying is spot on. I think that is part of the office culture, especially in open office cultures, because I've worked in offices where I've had my own office, or I should say combined offices, suites, where I've had my own office. And oh, I feel so much better because you can come out of your shell when you want, talk to people, have a good conversation, connect with your coworkers, go back to your office and do your work, even if your door's open or cracked open. So I think you hit the nail on the head. It can definitely be awkward. Let me know in the comment section what you think. For all my fellow introverts, have you experienced this in your own personal life? And for you extroverts out there, do you feel this way as well? And I just not sure, and I just didn't know, or do you have a different experience? I'm really curious to know. So let me know what you think in the comment section.
As I'm on my way to the office as someone who primarily works from home, I was thinking about some of the reasons why I don't like going into the office. And it's because I feel embarrassed a lot of the time having to, be around other people in person. And here are some office things that feel more embarrassing than they really are to me. The first one being waiting to go to the bathroom and having to go into a stall your colleague just came out of. Like, did you just in the toilet and now I have to in the toilet? No, no, thank you. And then secondly, we have sticking your head through the door of a meeting you have pre-booked. It's like, "Hi, sorry, I think I have this one. Yeah, sorry." And then they have to, like, pack up all their stuff and leave. Saying Happy New Year after January 15th. Don't do it. Stop it. I don't wanna no, leave it. And then last but not least, we have leaving before everyone else, even though it's the end of the day. Like, having to get up as the first person and be like, "Bye. See you guys tomorrow." It is so awkward, like, don't no.
So I'm curious. Let me know in the comment section. Do any of these resonate with you all? I'm really curious about this. This is an interesting topic to me. I'll say that out of the list that she gave, the only one that I can really even say I feel awkward about in the office, or that I did feel awkward about in the office, may have been leaving before everyone else, which I rarely did for that reason, and because I tend to stay and work longer. But I guess that can be awkward, but especially when I first started working out of college, I had my first real job, and I was the youngest guy in the office, the only guy in the office, and there were older people from different generations there, and they really valued, staying late. Because even if I was done the work for the day and I was really just there doing my own thing, they complimented me for it. And so I feel weird to get up and leave on time, mind you, not early, but on time, because I'm like, okay, well, if I leave on time, are they going to view me now as being a slacker because I'm leaving when I'm supposed to? So I can kind of relate to that last one she said. The rest of them, though, I mean, the one about the bathroom, that's funny. I mean, obviously, I am that way too. I will literally go to a different floor to use a restroom if that's the case, if someone just walked out this. Even if there's empty stalls next to the one someone's in doing their business, number two, I will go to another floor. But I'm just a little bit of a weird germaphobe, but maybe not so much because I'm watching her video. The other two about the stick 'em head in the office. Listen, if I pre-book the office, I pre-book the office. That is what it is. And saying Happy New Year after January 15th. If I haven't seen you and it's still January, Happy New Year. Yeah, not a big deal. But funny. Let me know in the comment section if you relate to any of these things she's saying.
Can someone please tell me if I'm just really socially awkward at work, or if anyone else experiences things like this? Because I know it's me. I know it's a me problem, but I can't help think there's got to be other people out there. A good example is like at lunch, do you ask everyone if they want something from the shop? But then the pressure is in my thought process, like, what if they do? And then I've got that to deal with. And then what if I get them something and it's not the right thing? Then I come back and I'm like, oh, it's on me, Susan. But then it's like, I don't really want to be paying for your £3.50 meal deal. Like, it's a cost of living crisis. I can't afford it. Do you know what I mean? Like, all of these things run through my head and I hate it. Introducing yourself to people, oh god, like, do I shake your hand, do I give you a hug? I don't know, and it just gives me so much anxiety. Oh my god, another one is trying to plug your laptop in and getting like your presentation on the screen and then it doesn't work. Now what do I do in that situation? Like, I literally want to cry. I hate it so much. Is it just me?
Okay, so it's not just her. I mean, we've all experienced some level of situations that are similar to this, like the plugging the laptop in when you're about to give a presentation and you're having technical difficulties. There's awkward. Oh, sorry guys. Technical difficulties. Bear with me. In a moment, Sally's gonna. I don't know. I keep on saying Sally. Sally's cool. Sally's going to do some tricks for you while I get this figured out, so I can get that part. The part about offering to buy, not to buy lunch, but to pick up the lunch for people. Listen, if there's a mistake that's made, I think it depends on who you work with. I think as most people have the common decency and courtesy not to expect you to cover their lunch if there's a little mistake that was made. I mean, that's why we have phones. Text me what you want. Like, I will sometimes go to the office and I'll make a Chipotle run, or I'd make a run to Cava or wherever. And I'd have the people I'm getting food for text me the food that they want, so that when I get there, yeah, I'm that guy in line holding it up, reading off everybody's text. No cheese, black, no, pinto beans. I'm that guy. And we've all been there, but at least the order is right. So nonetheless, I mean, she's making some points. And the shaking hands versus hug thing, I kind of have a no hug policy when it comes to where I work. That's just me, because I'm a guy too. You know how that goes. So I kind of just make it a policy. I'm gonna shake your hand. I have had situations where it's been like an office party and I've walked up to someone and they go for a hug and I go for a handshake, and it's like, those are a little awkward. But, you know, is what it is. I rather not risk it, and I'd rather just keep it standard across the board. But overall, I do listen. Returning to the office can be a bit awkward. Let's be honest. I'm not trying to say that for that reason we should all work from home, but I mean, I can't. It just comes along with being humans and being around people who are not A, family, and not B, friends you've chosen. Now, again, everyone I work with, I've always enjoyed working with them, and I've had friends still to this day that I met at work from previous jobs. So I'm not saying you can't become good friends with people at work. I'm just saying that it's kind of it is a forced relationship to an extent. In the beginning anyways, like a lot of other relationships, and you get to know people. And like, also, you're not gonna like everybody. You know what I mean? So there's been situations in offices where I work with people who couldn't stand each other, and they had to work on the same team. Well, were they on the same team? I don't know if they were on the same team, but they couldn't stand each other. They were in the same office suite. And whenever they were around each other, you could kind of feel that tension, or that dislike, or they tried to avoid each other, or they had to work together. Oh God, it's even. So, there's those situations. But, luckily I haven't experienced that myself, knock on wood. But yeah, so I can see how working in the office can be awkward. But anyways, with that being said, guys, let me know in the comment section what you think. Do you find it being awkward working in the office? I'm curious to know. If you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate it. Feel free to give it a like if you feel so inclined, and to subscribe, because I really appreciate it and it helps with the algorithm. And until next time, make smart financial decisions.